It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
The Knicks win Game 2. They are halfway through the conference final, halfway to their first trip to the NBA Finals since 1999. And PK, that third quarter run, I was waiting for the Cavs to punch back. Tie game at 53 and then like 18 in a row for the Knicks. Certainly 15 in a row. And the Cavs didn't really make a good run after that. They tightened the game up a little bit, but it never felt like they were going to win it.
Yeah, I think it was literally an 18-0 run. They were stuck on 53 for way too long.
Yep.
Exactly, DJ. And it reminded me of Game 1 down the stretch. They couldn't get in a bucket and they couldn't get stops. So you can take a synopsis of each of those games and have a 48-minute game. And obviously it went overtime in the first game, so add extra time to that. But there was a portion of it where everything that they tried to do just didn't work. And they got blown away, and they never really totally felt like they were going to make a run or a threat to get it down to a 2-possession game, 5 points, whatever. And they just had nobody who played beyond what they're capable of, and several guys played below what they're capable of. And they've been relying on Sam and Strus to come off the bench and put in some points. And I think those two were combined 2 of 15. And then Josh Hart had a real phenomenal game, and the rest of the Knicks sort of did what they did, and that puts them up 2-0. And in the best of 7, obviously, if you're down 2-0 and got to win 4 out of 5, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. It's not about Harden, it's about the move. And I realize those things are hard to separate, but when you move a major piece of a team, as Cleveland did with Harden, but there are a lot of other examples. It could be, it might not even be a trade. It could be, Boston welcoming back a star player a little early, but now you got to integrate him into the lineup. It could be Jordan coming back from baseball, and you got to integrate him into a team with, I think he came back with like 20 games left in the season, something like that. Clyde Drexler did get traded to Houston, and they were the defending champs, and they did win it again. But I think most of the time you see those big midseason deals, it just takes another year. If it's going to work, it's going to take another year. And then you can get into Harden's shot selection. Is he too ball dominant? All that. I just think integrating somebody who's going to have the ball in their hands that much is hard for any NBA team. And I think it's finally showing up with the Cavs. They did a good job of winning 2 Game 7s to get here. It is a big ask now. And I do wonder right now, can they get Allen and Mobley going? Because those guys, they're on a lot of teams that match up with both those guys. And it's hard for everybody to get shots and everybody to have the ball, and there's a balance to strike and a rhythm to maintain, and all those things are hard to do. But I really like the size and athleticism of those 2 games, but it does seem like they disappear in games. And there are times I think, can you guys take over a little bit? And they're big guys. They don't get to start the offense. People have to get them the ball. And I know it's not that simple, but I thought they were pretty quiet. And it feels like that's just a matchup advantage for them in most games. There aren't a lot of teams who match up with those guys. You might match up with the perimeter guys because that's more positionless. But, man, when you don't have the size and 2 guys are inside, they had one play. I can't even remember now if Mobley found Allen or if Allen found Mobley. But one guy's at the free throw line, and he took one dribble in the paint like he's going to go dunk, and the defense came to him, slipped the ball to the other guy for an easy lay-in. I'm like, there aren't a lot of teams that can do that. It's an advantage. And we'll see. Maybe they'll shoot it better when they get home. Sam Merrill was, 0 for 7 from 3, so most of those were in the first half.
I don't know that I would count on Allen to provide much offense. I think he's more of a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Mobley's got some more offensive skill there. But, if you want to step back and look, Harden there, they've gotten to where they've never gone. So if you want to look at it from that perspective, it is successful. It's just that how much longer does he have? Is this something that you can build upon for next year when he's 37 years old? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Allen did go 13 and 10. It's not like he had a bad game, right? And maybe it's just
just not a big offensive threat. He's so long and stuff. He can do things in that his length allows him to. But I don't think he's a 25-point guy.
And are there enough shots to go around for Mitchell and Harden and Mobley and Allen too? He's going to be limited in that regard also. So All right, tonight is Game 3, Western Finals, Oklahoma City and San Antonio. I'm looking forward to this, PK. The first 2 games of this series did not disappoint. Thought they were pretty evenly matched. It's 1-1. I will not be surprised if we come back here Monday morning and it's 2-2. It's really what I'm expecting.
Well, I won't be surprised tomorrow if I wake
Tuesday
up and
morning.
it's 2-1.
Yeah,
you
okay,
know?
nice. That's bravo. Well done. We'll be back here Tuesday morning. Holiday weekend.
Correct.
Spurs are already without Darren Fox due to an ankle sprain. Could be without Dylan Harper tonight. He suffered the hamstring injury in Game 2 and needs to undergo an MRI. We'll find out probably later today, but if I had to guess right now, doesn't look good.
Yeah, and we'll see what the Thunder with Jalen Williams, who's been injured most of the season, off and on.
Yeah, he only played 7 minutes that game. And Mitchell went down and grabbed his groin. So we'll see if that was something major, if he's out. And how many guys are going down in this series, getting knocked out? LeBron James on the Lakers on a podcast at a week later, he says, I feel like we were just out-talented by OKC. They just possess so much more talent. At the end of the day, we failed in talent. You can tip your cap to them, obviously, and understanding that, but you can't get caught up in that, especially when you know you're undermanned.
Well, yeah, I mean, Doncic didn't play. He didn't play 1 second. So, and you can argue that they weren't going to beat him without him. We'll never know, obviously, but clearly, I mean, that's dog bites man, duh.
As far as, is he moving on from L.A.? Is he going to retire? Is he going to go somewhere else in the league? I'm still in the moment, just taking my time. I haven't really thought about it too much. Obviously, I understand I'm a free agent and I can control my own destiny. Being here with the Lakers for the foreseeable future, but somewhere else. I think at some point in June, late June, as July rolls around, free agent starts to get going. Maybe into August, we'll start to get a kind of feel for what my future may look like. August.
Utah.
Go to a good team on a minimum and give him a title. He probably don't want to go anywhere on a minimum. That's a fan talking right there. All right, DJ and PK.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hashtag NFL.
There are golden parachutes, PK. On your way out the door, they give you the gold, and the Rams give Matthew Stafford a 1-year, $55 million extension. So he's got 2 years on his deal with the franchise, worth a total of $105 million. How about that for a pile of cash?
Yeah, I don't think that the Rams are really sacrificing too much, because if he's good enough, you'll get that back. And then if he's not and he wants to retire, well, then you're not on the hook for it. I don't know that the whole thing is guaranteed. And he's turning 38, I think it is. And so they have this opportunity to see what he does in the 26th season. And if he can stay healthy, it didn't look like at the 25 season that he had really slipped that much, or even noticeably. They would know, obviously, a million times more than I would. So I see it as a very little risk proposition there.
When you say they'll get it back, are you talking in the sense of selling tickets and luxury suites? Are you talking in the sense of going back to the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, one
or
leads
both
to the other, right? I mean, if you're going to have a successful season, and really, you know, I know the Rams have been talking about when they play, as teams in our side of the country do, you end up with fans from the other teams, but they pay money too. And so at least, you know, from a financial standpoint, I mean, I realize, and the Cardinals deal with that all the time when Green Bay or Chicago or whomever comes in, you know, there's so many fans from the other team. And I get that, that's an irritant, but I'm just talking financially, their money counts. So I don't think it's an unwise investment if he plays well. If he doesn't, he may decide, hey, I've had enough. If he gets banged up 3 or 4 times and his body just says, come on, this is plenty. We're done here. We're pushing 40. So we'll have to see how it is. And they don't have a quarterback ready to go that could step in immediately. Who they drafted somebody. Who was it?
His backup is going to be Ty Simpson.
Right, the Alabama kid. And so he has an opportunity to learn a little bit here. So at least for this year, and then if it goes into next year too, and Matthew is playing well, that's a good thing, and it allows Ty more opportunity to develop and watch and so forth. So you could see it's a smooth transition. When I saw this yesterday, the first thing I thought to myself was, oh yeah, that makes sense.
At $55 million, that's a lot of your cap space, and there's probably ballpark 10, 11 guys in the league who are over $50 million, and it's a 50-50 proposition on whether giving a QB that money gets you the playoffs. He's a pretty good bet in that regard because obviously you can look at his track record. You know, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, we know Miami let him go now. Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, they're guys who have made the playoffs but then missed them last year. So it's a little iffy once you start giving a quarterback that kind of money. You better get it right.
But what else are they going to do? He has some leverage here.
Does.
He can use retirement as an opportunity to gain some more money if that's what he's looking for and his agent is looking for. When healthy, I think he is minimally a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback.
What he's been doing there in their track record, his contract was worth in the 40s. Now, obviously, it's been going up, and now they give him this extension. So he's had a lot of success there, but now they got, 10 or 12 more million bucks they're spending on a QB that they can't spend somewhere else. They get a little break because the cap is going up. So that's part of it. Chicago Bears reiterated that they plan to leave Soldier Field and the city of Chicago. Their two options, because you got to have leverage, are Hammond, Indiana, or suburban Illinois, where they bought the former Arlington Heights racetrack, which, of course, is what the Rams did. They bought a racetrack that closed in L.A. to get a big enough piece of property to build their stadium and to build a whole entertainment district around it. That's where the Clippers' new stadium is, on that same piece of property. So it's a similar plan if they do that. It's not that different. I mean, Arizona went to Glendale, right, at a point when that was on the edge of town and kind of wide open, and now everything's grown up around it. Decade later.
Yeah, I think the Hammond Hoosiers sounds pretty good to me.
It is across the state line. Still the metropolitan area spilling out, but it's a ways away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the Jets and the Giants.
Right. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Brian Seeley, CEO of the 11-month-old College Sports Commission, said he's actually heard more good feedback than bad as he started making the rounds at league meetings. But he says there is a lot of people grousing about his and the CSC's role. I was hired to launch the CSC and enforce the rules as written. It's totally fine with us if the rules end up changing, if there's consensus to change those rules. But until that happens, we're going to enforce the rules as written, and that's what we were told to do. Yeah, he's in a tough spot here because the group says they want rules, but people also want to win, and they're looking for an edge, so everybody's pushing the envelope, so they don't really want the rules. I mean, the NCAA is an association of all the schools. Now the CSC is an association of all the schools. It feels like they're having the same kind of problems for the same reasons.
Well, I don't think that at any decade you could go in and not say the same thing.
I agree, yeah.
College sports is a big ball of contradiction. I mean, the winning that is involved and the connection that big-time alumni have and the pressure that these coaches are under to try to win, and there's an opportunity to cut a corner, to break a rule, and some of the rules are archaic anyway. And so we just go on, and away we go. And at least from the football perspective, we go doom and gloom. And you know how I hate that, because it seems like, and if you judge ratings and whatnot, it seems like college football is on top of the world, but yet everybody tells us it's a mess.
Well, we've been told baseball has doom and gloom, and look, it's emerged from whatever gloom was real, and there was probably a portion of it that was real, but it was way overstated, and they've even emerged from that portion. They got new momentum. This decade feels way different than the last one. Tweak the rules. They certainly got some energy from that. They have another round of good young players. The doom and gloom.
You're talking about MLB?
Yeah, I'm talking about MLB. It goes back to what you were talking about the other day. Like when people tell you, they go all Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Like there are real problems, and problems need to be addressed. But it doesn't mean the end of everything. It's not that, But in a hot take world, sometimes that's, people can stand out by pushing that. Whether they're a commissioner, a team president, a politician, a sportscaster, a random influencer on social media. It doesn't matter. You can get traction in any of those places sometimes with that.
Yeah, no doubt. No about that. And sometimes hot takes can be totally taken out of context, and we'll get to that at 7:45.
All right. I look forward to that. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Well, some of the big names are back and some aren't, PK. For the Yankees, Garrett Cole scheduled to make his return to action from Tommy John surgery, facing Tampa Bay. Beware of the beast. Look at the Rays. First pitch set for 5 o'clock. That's a big game in that division.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, sure. And Tampa Bay, we talked about it yesterday. They're second or third from the bottom, I think, in the payroll. And then they just keep winning. Man, it's just amazing.
In the short run, it's 4 in a row, but their bigger hot streak, which dates back to mid to late April, they were 12-11 after they lost a couple games to Cincinnati, and they salvaged the season or the series finale, and since then, 21-4. Yikes! 21-4. Garrett Cole, good luck. It's the first place Rays, 4.5 games up on the second place Yankees, so a big game in the AL East.
Yeah, and Aaron Judge is slumping right now. He had the golden sombrero 2 nights ago, and then last night the whole team didn't even score.
Tigers ace Tariq Skubal completing his third bullpen session since undergoing surgery to remove loose bodies in his pitching elbow. He and the team have no definitive timeline on his return to action. So put him on hold.
Well, I think I'd rather have loose bodies in my elbow than loose elbows in my body.
Okay, sure. Silver lining there. Yeah.
Right? Could you imagine loose elbows? I mean, Victor Wembanyama with his loose elbow, man, he could kill you.
Tigers got beat by Cleveland 3-1 last night. The Yankee game you referenced, 2-0 the Blue Jays over the Yankees there. The Athletics needed 10 innings to beat the Angels, but they got it done. The Athletics, who had been terrible, are now 50 games in, and they got a winning record, 26-24 after that 3-2 win. Angels, meanwhile, are terrible, 17-34. They're down there in the old Chicago White Sox territory. The White Sox are out of that realm now. They're much better. But the Angels are there near the bottom, about as far down as you can go.
I saw that Sacramento wants in on the expansion possibilities.
Yes, I did. I did see that. The Athletics' $2 billion dome stadium on the Vegas Strip is taking shape with the lower bowl closing in on completion. Officials said the project remains on schedule to open before the 2028 season. And as far as Sacramento wants in, I get that. But we both lived in California for a long time, and it is hard to get public money to build a stadium there. It is much easier in other places. And Sacramento, once upon a time, tried to do that to get the Raiders, even started digging a hole and pouring concrete. See, we're doing it. Just give us a little more money, and we'll finish it. And then it didn't, and it just sat there as a hole in the ground with concrete in it for a while. And that story hasn't been repeated that dramatically, but there have been struggles in San Diego, L.A., and San Francisco at times building things. So I'm sure they want it. I don't doubt that. And they've got the size. It's a big metropolitan area. It's sprawling. Yeah. But I don't know if they can put a stadium together.
Isn't that at its core, every building that's made of concrete, simply concrete with a hole in the ground?
Yeah, but usually you have the whole thing financed when you get to that point. And usually you keep going and you build and the building rises against the skyline and all that, and this one didn't. It just sat there as a hole in the ground.
Don't push against the momentum. That is, what is that called? Major League Baseball Utah? What's that group called?
Big League Utah.
Big League Utah, yeah.
Big League. I knew it wasn't Major League. Big League Utah. Yeah, we got the momentum. We got the financing. We got the land.
Yep.
We got the beat.
Old school. Bees beat Tacoma 8-3. They play again tonight at 6:35. You can get out to the ballpark, and if not, you can listen to Tony Parks on 1280 The Zone. DJ and PK.
Hashtag RSL.
Last game before a long World Cup break for Real Salt Lake there in Minnesota. Tomorrow, first kick is set for 2:30 at Allianz Field, and coverage on the KSL Sports Zone will begin at 1:30 with the RSL pre-match show. They are flying high, just picked up back-to-back home wins. They're sitting in third place in the West, and Pablo Mastroeni will be here at 8 o'clock to talk about the final game before the long World Cup break.
Now, usually when there's a big break, the announcers usually take off to exotic lands. I mean, I literally have been in Cancun with David Locke during the break. So which island are you going to?
The plan was literally to go to Oahu, but events have intervened, and we will not be traveling at least in the early part of the summer. So
Acapulco now?
No. The gorgeous Wasatch Front, PK, staycation for us.
Well, that's a nice time to be here.
I agree. It is. Summers are spectacular.
I'll go for you.
That's very selfless of you, PK. Say hi to my aunts and uncles and my cousins and their kids, okay?
Yeah, we'll do.
Literally, our oldest kid will go for us. He's gonna go out there and see the family. So
cool.
Utah Royals try to extend their 8-match unbeaten streak against the Denver Summit. First kick, 4:30 American Field. Coverage on 1280 The Zone starts at 4 o'clock. Coming up tomorrow. There you go. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Montreal Canadiens blowing out Carolina 6-2 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tonight's Game 2 in the West. So the two big dogs, PK, Carolina and Colorado, both stormed through the first two rounds. Both had the best regular season records in their conferences, and both have now lost the opening game at home. I mean, there's a long way to go, but no, starting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, force me to take, I would still go with the big dogs, as you say.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. As I said with the Cleveland Cavaliers, you get down 0-2. Obviously, you got to win 4 out of 5. It's not impossible. Many have done it. But the task becomes extremely much more difficult than it was if it's just 1-1. 1-1, I think. When you're 1-1 in a series, it's probably okay. Unless it's like there was just several years back when Mitchell didn't play in that Game 1 and they lost to Memphis.
It was full goal.
And then they came back and won the second one. It was 1-1, but we never really felt like, okay, that's going to be much of a series, and it wasn't. But that's a 1 versus 8. We're much more along in the playoffs than that.
Yep. Okay, Game 2 tonight, Vegas, Colorado. That's 6 o'clock on ESPN. What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, coming up next, Steve Sarkisian firing off. Oh, he didn't say Texas Tech, but he meant Texas Tech, the SEC, looking down its nose at the Big 12. How dare they, PK? We'll get to that next. David Locke is here at 8:30, Pablo's at 8, and Chris Cartman, Sun Devil source and 24/7 Sports, is here at 9 o'clock for our spring football tour. Stay with us.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.